You understand? Or maybe you had a friend somewhere who was a nephew of the Archbishop, and he was able to get you a special pass and a card. These kinds of things could happen in the other countries. Many times they didn't, and there are plenty of Jews, unfortunately, in all these countries that got killed. That's a fact. But there are also plenty that did not. And so, looking back, as I consider this whole subject, I say my mother in her times, looking back in retrospect, it's kind of funny because you might say that the best country, this is going to sound weird, but you'll understand what I mean, perhaps the best country to be in the course of World War II, if you were a Jew and you had some kind of protexia, was Slovakia. And the reason I say it is because the Germans did not occupy the country until very late in the war, until August and September of 1944. In Hungary, they already came in March. Now, this is 6 months later. Okay? Again, I'm not saying it was good. There was even a point in 1942, this is the 9 days, that's the time to remember this, where Eichmann, who, as we all know, was in charge of transporting everybody to the concentration camps to kill him, came to Slovakia as he went around all over Europe, and he said to the Slovak government, give us the Jews and we'll get them off your hands. And it's very interesting, by the way, that, nobody ever asked the question, what are you going to do with them? They want to know. We know, that the circumlocutions were resorted to, and all kinds of euphemisms. And that way the governments could, persuade themselves, if they wished, that, we're just getting rid of the Jews and nothing, they're going to get what they deserve. They're not going to get killed, but they're going to get what they deserve. That kind of mentality. I'm saying this for a reason, as you'll see in a minute. In the case of Slovakia, they came there, and they started to issue Jewish registrations and get everybody's number, and then set up trains and start deportations to Auschwitz. This is in 1942 when Auschwitz was already running. And a sister of my mother got in the unfortunate situation of getting one of those trains, Sharaka, and they couldn't get her out. My mother's mother and another sister, she was able to do various types of tricks, and she got them out. It was that sort of a cat and mouse game, because what happened in Slovakia was that the Jews there, terrified, and appropriately so, for a few minutes forgot their constant internecine fighting. All the Jewish groups came together, what they call the Working Committee, the Communists, the Zionists, the Secularists, the Liberals, the Conservative, and the Orthodox. It's very famous, the Orthodox member of the committee was Rabbi Weissmandel. But he wasn't the only one. I might say that when I was in Eretz Yisrael a month ago, my mother got the English Hamodia, newspaper here, and maybe some of you saw it. They had an interview there, as it happens. It was funny. It's kind of sad, but funny that on the what do you call the Sunday Sun? Whatever you call it in Israel, the Shabbos Sun, the Shabbos magazine, part of the Hamodia, was a big map of Slovakia. And the reason is they did an interview with the last surviving member of that committee, who's 100 years old, living in Atlanta. Maybe some of you saw that. Who wasn't religious, but was on that committee, and they bribed Eichmann's deputies, especially Vissenseini. And the bottom line is, it's not still good. My understanding is that it's a machlokas among the historians how precisely the details worked. And as I said before, we have a habit of it, someone could clarify. But the bottom line is, they successfully bribed, and they stopped the deportations. So if you were unlucky enough to be on those few trains that took off in 42, you're basically dead. Although I'm told that Mrs. Englander, who passed away